You guys, I feel like trash, so might as well do a video. I'm Erin. This is Erin Go Read. I just watched Heather from Soggy Expat Book Nerd have like a hilarious reading crisis in her last Dowithon vlog. And I'm feeling a little bit the same because I have a trip coming up. Today is Thursday, March 31st. First of all, I feel like crap because I slept like crap. Allergies are bad and I already have insomnia, so just like if for some reason I wake up in the middle of the night, it's really hard to go back to sleep. I do all of the sleep hygiene things. I'm a health coach. I teach sleep hygiene. I teach the importance of good sleep and good sleep practices, but it still gets me sometimes. I'm traveling tomorrow. I'm flying to Nashville for a work, basically like a 2 to 3 day work trip thing with it's my business coach and then my business coaches and then a bunch of us who get coached, and we're staying in this amazing house, like Airbnb. I looked at the pictures on Airbnb and it reminded me of like the first episode of like Real World or something. My sleep is doing something weird. The first episode of Real World or something, when they see the house for the first time and it's like epic and they're like, I get this bed and all that kind of stuff. Like that's what it's gonna feel like going into this house. Like it looks like a band would stay there to record an album. I don't think we're gonna do that, but I'm flying across the country, so it takes a while to get from California to Tennessee. And so what am I gonna read? So I'm currently in the middle of 2 books, well 3 books if you count my audiobook. I'm pretty early on in Hollowpox, the Morgan Crow, the 3rd book in the Morgan Crow series. I'm close to being done. I'm like 3/4 or so through The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie, and then The Ogress and the Orphans by Kelly Barnhill. She's the author of The Girl Who Drank the Moon. And I just haven't given this book enough like time and everything. I just keep getting too distracted. But I've like been agonizing for days over what books I'm going to take with me on my trip. So I have some choices. So I'm going to I basically just keep running through my head what books I would like to take, knowing I'm probably going to buy a book. Like, can I have the self-control not to? But I'm going to grab some books, the books that I'm thinking about taking, and maybe just like talking it out will help. It's like book therapy. So I have a pile of possibilities here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books, and that's not including any of the books I'm actually already reading, the ones I just showed you. So on top here, I just bought a copy of Circe. So this is a possibility. Because I don't know a whole lot about Greek mythology, I feel a little bit intimidated, but I keep hearing people say that like all these Greek myth retellings, you don't need to know the source material. And it's just gorgeous. So that's a possibility. So then I have Elizabeth Strout's My Name is Lucy Barton. I love Olive Kitteridge, and this is like another series of Elizabeth Strout's, and it's like I assume it's an adult daughter has a surgery and she's like not recovering very well, so her mom comes and stays with her, and then plot. Ooh, those books go well together. Nice matching. Then we have what I bought for the last time I went to, I think Nashville, or maybe it was when I went to San Diego last year. But the last time I flew, I bought this book at my local Ruby's Books in order to read it on the plane. So maybe this will still be my plane book. Transcendent Kingdom. Did it win? I know it was nominated for the Women's Prize last year. I can't remember if it won. What won? Somebody remind me what won the Women's Prize last year. But anyway, it's kind of that. I always find it really interesting, the kind of tension between religion and science, being someone who is a Christian, but someone who also, I have a master's of science. I very much believe in science and just the conflict between the two and how an individual kind of wrestles with that. Then we have a memoir, Ordinary Girls by Jakira Diaz. She is Puerto Rican, I believe. Searing memoir, it's called. Challenging, Puerto Rico, and then Miami Beach. I think she ends up I think there's like a sexuality component to this. The biggest thing is I just keep being drawn toward memoirs because I'm writing one. So actually, news, I completed the first draft of my memoir. My goal was to have finished it. My goal was to finish it by April 3rd, which is this coming Sunday, which is the 2nd anniversary of my husband's death. And I finished it like a week early. So I just basically haven't touched it. I won't be doing anything regarding a second draft until like when I get back from this trip. But one of the big things that's going to be happening in the second draft is taking some of the information that was literally me just like recounting the events that happened and just jazzing them up, bringing more emotive language. There are sections of it that I've written that I'm really happy with the writing. Most of it I'm not happy with the writing. It was just like, I just need to get these events. What happened, there's a little bit of the emotion in there. Obviously, the more emotional event was, the easier the harder emotionally, but the easier in the writing process it was to get that language out. But anyway, I just, I almost want like an example of like, how did you write about your story and how were you able to just recount events that happened in a way that is linguistically interesting, or you know what I mean? So anyway, so that is a possibility. And then finally, we have Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead, nominated for the Women's Prize. I actually really like this cover. The cover I keep seeing, I don't know if it's just the UK cover or whatever, but it's like the red and blue, but I really like this cover. The orange and the plain, because I know there's like 2 timelines. In one timeline, the woman flies like a circle around the globe, basically. And then the other timeline or storyline is the actress who's playing this woman in an upcoming movie. So this, I mean, it's a good possibility because I will be able to get like deep into the book, but it's really big. How do I decide? I mean, it might come to packing. Like literally, it might come to like, what do I have room for in my bag? I'm kind of leaning toward, what I'm leaning toward is The Great Circle plus either Transcendent Kingdom or My Name is Lucy Barton. My Name is Lucy Barton, I feel like is just going to be like a lighter story. Transcendent Kingdom, I don't know like vibes wise where we're going to be. I feel like Great Circle, I will be able to just like get into, because from what I've heard from other people, then there's always the fear of like, what if I start reading a book and I'm not into it, and I'm just like stuck on the plane and I have hours to go until I get to the next airport where I can fix the situation. So that's why I want to be able to have 2. But then I'm like, well, maybe instead of Great Circle, maybe I have Circe instead. But Great Circle is on a women's prize, so like it would be nice to have like at least a dog in the race. So I think, assuming I have room, I think Great Circle has won. This is always subject to change, of course. And I think mostly because I bought it for the purpose and it's a book that I really want to get to, Transcendent Kingdom. I also imagine, I'm not positive, but I imagine this is probably on the BookTube prize. So I think these are going to be my winners for now, and we shall see. So I guess maybe this is the beginning of a vlog. I just started recording because I felt like I needed somebody to talk to. Thank you for being that for me. But maybe this will be the beginning of my travel vlog, and then you could actually get some payout here and see actually what I think about these books. I guess that would be helpful. I'm in a hilarious room in this Airbnb. It's like a super cool Airbnb, but the walls are all black. The bed is 100% black, and then there's just red curtains, which you can't even see. Maybe you can see if I move it. There's red curtains behind me. There's not even a window that these curtains are blocking. It's just 100% black with red velvet curtains. So pray for me. I could turn the overhead light on, but I don't want to. But all I'm gonna say is I finished The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, which I loved the twist. It was a very twisty ending. And then I read about 200 pages in Great Circle, and very much enjoying that. I was finding myself getting like totally just really immersed in the story, where I would have those cool almost like time periods where you like forget time exists, and I forgot like the setting of where I was on the plane because I was so much in this story. So, and I think that's a really great thing to be able to say about a writer's and author's writing, is that you forget where you are and you're just so immersed in their world. So that's all I have to say on that for now. Hopefully we'll be coming at you soon with better lighting. But I thought this like talking head situation was too funny to pass up. This is where we are staying. Pretty epic place. With you're not gonna be able to see from here, but there's a view of downtown better from upstairs. So this is the black room. I think they actually call this the red room. There's not a window behind that door. I'm not quite so sure about this black padded gold trimmed bed, but the mattress is super comfy. There we go. But yeah, this is the room. It's very easy to sleep in a very dark room, I will say that. What's up, guys? It is super warm in the house, but it is not super warm outside here in Nashville. But I have this really nice water feature wall behind me. Hopefully you can still hear me. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Great Circle. So I am getting close to halfway done with it, that I all read in the airports and on the planes yesterday. And it's really cool because it's two parallel storylines of orphans. Marion, the pilot, and then Hadley, the actress who is playing Marion in a movie. They're both orphans from different circumstances, obviously, and but they have a lot of similarities in their lives. So it's just really cool to follow. I find myself getting sucked into each person's life. So Marion, the pilot, is her storyline is she's in Montana, and she very young learns to love planes. These like barnstorming pilots come through, and she finds out about flight, and she's just so fascinated. Really loud truck. She's just so fascinated by flight and anything mechanical, and wants to live a very different life than what would be expected of her. The thought of marriage and having kids is, she's never even conceived of it until someone brings it up to her, because she just wants to be a pilot and that's all she knows and cares about. And then Hadley was a child star, and then and starred in a Twilight-like series, and was in a relationship with her co-star, and then cheated on him, and she's in kind of a public relations nightmare, and in trying to kind of save her career a little bit, she ends up wanting to be cast as Marion Graves. So yeah, it's super good. Like the writing just really pulls you in, and there's no distraction that pulls me out of the story. Like I was saying yesterday, I think, I'm on the plane surrounded by all these things that I suppose could be distracting me. But I was really just getting sucked into this world. So yeah, I'm just really loving it, and loving the characters of Marion and her circumstances. And we know from the very beginning that she ends up getting lost. And so this is like, the movie that's being made is like her diary that was found. And then Hadley too, like how is she going to change and grow, and what's going to happen with her career, all that, just super interesting. So yeah, I think I'm actually gonna put on a jacket and read out here for a little while. I'm waiting for I'm waiting for a DoorDash to arrive. So it's, you know, you're like, oh, you're in Nashville. Why aren't you like out downtown doing fun stuff? Well, it's like, it's a working weekend and we're trying to get stuff done. We're going to be doing a photo shoot here in a little while, kind of eat lunch, do photos kind of stuff. And I just don't want to be like, just don't want to be wasting a lot of time trying to navigate. First of all, I don't have a car. So we have a couple people who do, but it's just a lot of time it takes to do that kind of stuff. And I'm not here to like see Nashville. I think we're gonna get some barbecue tonight, but we're gonna have it delivered to the house so we can continue to work and then be with each other. As a big part of it is being with my fellow coaches and our community. So yeah, that's what's up. A little behind the scenes of photo shoot time.
What was that?
Hello there. It is Sunday evening, a little after 7 o'clock, still here in Nashville. I'm in a hotel now very near the airport because I have a very early flight, 5:30 a.m. flight. So I'm actually, as soon as I finish this, I'm gonna set up my Uber for like 3:30 in the morning. But I had a really great day. So our checkout at our Airbnb was at like 11 this morning. So we, house full of health coaches, right? So we're all just like go to bed early people. We're not partying in Nashville. We stayed in East Nashville away from downtown and it was just nice and quiet. And I just had this amazing Airbnb and we all had, you know, we were like all spread out. There's a whole bunch of bedrooms and beds. I had my own room, which was really nice. And especially I was the only single woman there. There was one other woman there, but she's married to my coach. And then the rest of it was guys. And but none of us, like, we don't stay up late. We're not sleeping in, you know, and so we're up at like 6:30 in the morning and there's no coffee maker in the house, but there's a coffee shop like a quarter mile down the road. So no problem, walk there in the morning. The only problem is that they didn't open until 8 o'clock on Saturday morning or Sunday morning. So we got there at like 6:30 and they were closed. So I had to go back home and wait an hour and a half to go back when they opened. Really, really great coffee though. Retrograde coffee. I got myself a sweatshirt. I love getting souvenirs that just kind of like mean something, like more than just like a Nashville shirt, and supporting local businesses. And they had like a cool, I don't know if I can show you. They had a cool logo, and then there's like a skeleton and a like a spacesuit. That's hard to do with two hands or with one hand, but anyhow. So I got that and went back to the house and just hung out with my people and packed and all that. And then ended up going back there until, in order to wait for some friends. So we were, the wife of a former Marine buddy, or not former Marine buddy, but the wife of a Marine buddy just kind of set up this surprise. She saw that I was in Nashville and they live in Knoxville. And she's like, hey, would it be possible? Can we can drive to Nashville and we can surprise Harvey. So I was like, yeah, cool. You want to just pick me up at this coffee shop? And so they left early this morning. She didn't tell him what was going on. Just like, do you trust me? We're going to go to Nashville. And so I just hung out at this coffee shop, got some work done. And then we just had lunch locally. Had some, when in the South, eat your vegetables fried, I guess. So we had some chicken tenders, and I had some mac and cheese and fried cauliflower, because that was basically the options. But it was really good, and it's nice to be able to eat as the locals do, and just get experience that eating a little bit differently than the way that I normally eat. So definitely be ready to get home and have some fresh vegetables for sure. But anyhow, after I did that with them, they took me to my hotel, and then I went and explored a little bit. I just really wanted to check out a local bookshop. And so I found a place called The Bookshop, and really cute, really small little independent bookstore in kind of a growing area in East Nashville. And then it was kind of a walkable area. So I just kind of walked around and found Tailgate Brewing, which is the East Nashville location, which their main location, which I'm not sure the city it's in, but the main location I actually went to a couple years ago with Doris. She took me there. They have really good gluten-free pizza, and so I had a gluten-free pizza and a cider, and I sent a picture to Doris telling her I was thinking about her. So I had pizza and cider and a bookshop, and then I went over to Kroger, and never been to a Kroger, so that was a first. Saw Aldi. Always hear about Aldi. Saw that. It didn't go in because the Kroger was closer. Just got some water and some protein bars and stuff like that, and then took an Uber back to my hotel. So that's basically where I am. So I just want to show you the books that I picked up. I feel like I'm talking really fast. Slow down. So I picked up Winter in Soccho by Elisa, Shua, Dusapin. Not sure if I said that right. Probably not. But this is actually, it won the National Book Award, I think, for translated fiction, and then I just saw that it made it into the quarterfinals for the translated BookTube prize. So it's like a little resort town, kind of on the near the border of North and South Korea, and a French Korean woman who's the receptionist at this kind of rundown guest house. It's about her, and then this, I think, French graphic novelist guest arrives, and she starts kind of like accompanying him on some errands and stuff that he's running. I think he's trying to learn more about like Korean life, and so I guess it's just about their relationship, whatever that turns out to be. And then I also picked up The Verifiers by Jane Pek. They had a lot of really cool translated fiction. There was like 10 books or more there that I wanted to pick up. And this is a Chinese American immigration story, but also literary mystery. So our main character, Claudia Lin, is kind of not the Chinese daughter that her parents want her to be. She's not interested in settling down with a nice Chinese boy. She's in grad school doing her thesis on Jane Austen. And then somehow, the back of the book doesn't say what her main job is, but there's some work she's doing for a client that ends up leading to a mystery. And so it's both a literary mystery, but also like an immigrant family story. So that looked really good. I love, especially in an independent bookstore, that's just very well curated. I love just going and seeing a book that you've never heard of before and just buying it because you liked the back of the book, basically. So, I like the cover too, but the cover draws you and the back of the book sells you. So yeah, that's what I bought. So I would love to be able to finish this between on my first flight, and then probably just get back to Great Circle. So that's what I'm doing right now. I've had a headache for most of the day, as much of a nice day as it's been. I've had a pretty bad headache all day, so I don't think I'm going to read. Call the Midwife is on PBS right now. I have no idea what season this is. It took me a while to even figure out what show this was, because almost none of the characters are the same. But I think I'll just watch that. I'm probably dehydrated, so I'm going to drink some water before it gets too late to go to bed. And then also just want to acknowledge today is 2 years since my husband Sam died. I am so tired, you guys. Ended up having quite an emotional evening, and then just watching like BS on TV, which I never do. I very rarely just like watch random things and like channel surf and stuff like that. But I was watching like going forth between like Bravo and Comedy Central and E, I think. Like, yeah, just some random things. And when I was finally ready to try to go to sleep, I was having heart palpitations. So that was fun. So basically just, you shouldn't feel your heart without trying to. It's anxiety related, so I know that it was all the grief, basically. I had a whole battery of cardiac tests. I know that my heart is actually fine, so that helps. But it's just physically uncomfortable, and it makes it really difficult to actually sleep when you're lying there and you can feel your heart pounding in your chest. It's especially bad if I try to lay on my side, which I tend to do. But yeah, so I ended up finally I ended up turning on a light and I started at the pizza shop yesterday, but read maybe 15 pages in Winter and Soccho, which I'm really liking so far. It's just very, that arm is just dead. There's kind of a very like matter-of-fact writing style about it. Just like, it's not that it's not descriptive, it's just kind of sparse in a way. But I'm really liking it, and it's just a continuation of the beginning of this relationship between the receptionist at this guest house and this French graphic novelist. So yeah, that's what we got. I've got to just kind of repack up my last few things here. I'll probably make another bad cup of hotel coffee, but very grateful to have it, and then go. I have my Uber is coming at 3:20, so what time is it now? It's 3:08 right now, so just have a few minutes to get that done, and then I need to head out to the lobby. So I might be sleeping on the plane rather than reading. We'll see how well I perk up.